What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another basement build video. Over the next few days we are going to be working some more on the built-ins that I made, and if you haven't seen up to this point how I've done that, I'll post a video somewhere, link somewhere up here. I don't know, I'll figure that out. Anyways, we are going to be making some countertops over the next couple days out of some 2x12 lumber, and I should be able to get both of these done, both countertops for the built-ins, for right around 50 bucks. So pretty cheap option, and they should look pretty good. So let's go up to the garage and see what we're doing. So here's the lumber I'm using. It is 2x12 10-foot long boards, and I went through and picked some fairly decent looking pieces. We're going to be cutting these to length, squaring up our edges over here on the table saw, and then running them through a planer to make sure the thickness is the same and the top is nice and flat. We will then be putting some pocket screws in them to build out our countertop and go from there. So let's get started making our cuts. So here are all 6 boards cut down to length, and the edges squared off. We're going to go ahead and run these through the planer now and smooth down the tops. So now that these have been ran through the planer, they are very smooth up top here. A little bit of knots in there, but not too worried about that. So I've laid everything out to see what's going to give me the tightest gaps, which I think I found this orientation does. So we are going to flip these over. I'm going to put some pocket holes in the back side, and then we will get them all screwed together. May need a new battery. Now that we have all the pocket holes drilled out, we'll go ahead, throw some glue in between the boards, and attach everything. You'll want to definitely be on a flat surface. The flattest surface I have is my table saw, and then clamp them down from the bottom side. That way the tops are on your flat surface. And then also clamp them from side to side to where you get a good tight squeeze on the joint. Even though these pocket hole screws hold well, they can move on you a little bit, so just be sure everything is secure and tight before putting in your screws. So there's the first countertop completed. We need to do a little bit of sanding across the top, but it is very, very flat. All the joints are super smooth on there. So we got both of these made up and set on the built-ins. I've got them pushed all the way up against the wall, and now I need to mark out a little notch that I need to cut out for this rock. I'll cut that with a jigsaw and then start doing some sanding on the tops and router the edges. So here's one of the countertops after that cutout was made. Just goes around the stone there. So we'll get that little bit of sanding done, router the edges a bit, and then start staining everything. Both countertops fit up nicely, sit pretty flush up against the wall. You can see here, I just slightly rounded over that edge. I don't know if you can make that out or not, but just a slight round over on that edge with a little bit of a sander. So we'll get these off and start staining them the same color of the cabinets. Now to stain everything, I'm going to be using the gel stain from Minwax, the coffee color, which is the same color that I did the built-ins. So I'll do 2 coats of this, let those dry overnight, and then come back with some satin polyurethane and do about 3 coats of that as well. So I've got each of the countertops put into place here. The next thing to do is make a pilot hole and screw these in from the underside. I'm going to be using some number 8 by 1.5 inch cabinet screws to do that. So I end up putting 6 screws on the underside of each countertop to hold them secure, and they are in here solid. I mean, there's no rattle, no nothing going on with them. So for 50 bucks, guys, I was able to make both countertops, stain them, and get them on here. I think they look awesome for what they cost. Gives you a nice solid countertop and a nice unique look with all the grain and everything in here. It's a project that you can do over the weekend. It doesn't take a lot of time. Once you get all the cuts made and put together, really you're just staining it and setting it on the countertop. So I hope this video helped you out and gave you some ideas of something you could do in your own home. So be sure to check back soon. I've got the cabinet doors to make for these built-ins, and I'll be going over the process of how I make those. And then these will be completely done. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and check back soon for more Life of Bliss.